At this season in your life, what does fatherhood mean?
Honestly, man, it's teaching me to give myself grace.
So what did becoming a father, what did it awaken in you?
So what I'm realizing is to be a father, you have to be very self-aware.
God forbid something happens to you today or tomorrow and you want, to leave something with your kids. What's that thing you want them to know? All right, family, listen. We back for another interview, another father in the books. We want to tap in, man. Young, old, middle aged, whatever you want to call it, man. We want to tap into all our fathers. This is family, this is love right here. So listen, I appreciate you jumping on, man, and just giving a chance to the people to hear you and hear what you got to say about fatherhood, man. This is personal. So
Yeah, man.
tell the people your name, man.
Okay. So my name's Brian Crenshaw Sr.
All right. I like the senior.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do for a living, man? What do you do for a living?
I am a pharmacy representative manager for Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you diving deep into the pharmaceutical industry there, right?
Yeah,
I got you.
amongst other things. I'm an author, I'm a speaker,
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Just got my hand in a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 3.
Wow. I was just about to ask, man. So you got 3.
Yeah.
Boy, girl, 2 all boys. What you got, man?
No, man, I got 2 girls and a boy, man.
Oh, okay. Where's the ages sit at right now? Like, who's the oldest? Who's the youngest?
So 19,
Okay.
9, getting ready to be 10 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I have 8-year-old.
Okay. And it's
The youngest.
the boy's the youngest. Oh man. I was just chopping it up with your brother, and I said, listen, you just got that boy in at the end, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. So man, when you're thinking about this fatherhood thing, right? With everything that you got going on, I know a lot of it's probably for them, right? And for your family and making sure that everybody's good, man. But at this season in your life, man, what does fatherhood mean? At this season in your life, what does fatherhood mean? Because you have that 19-year-old, but you have that span of that 9-year-old too. But I feel like we grow just as much as our kids. So what does fatherhood mean to you in this space, man?
Honestly, man, it's teaching me to give myself grace. Like, life is ever evolving.
Yeah.
And like you said, like I have a 19-year-old, but I also have an 8-year-old. So I have to present myself in a different space to the 19-year-old than I do the 8-year-old.
Right.
But the caveat to that is doing that in the same space. Like, my middle daughter wants to be so much like my oldest daughter.
Right.
I can't treat her like my oldest daughter because she's not there yet.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of questions like, yeah, she's still learning. So there are a lot of questions like, well, why do you let her do this and you don't let me do this? And then on the flip side, my oldest daughter is seeing a different version of me as I am raising my younger 2.
Wow.
So she's like, well, a lot of things you let them get away with, you never let me get away with.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to give myself grace, man.
Oh, that's phenomenal, man. Because it's funny. It's funny when your kids see you growing, right? It's we're supposed to be monitoring them and watching them and making sure that they got all their T's crossed and their I's dotted within life, right?
Right.
It's interesting when they shine a mirror in front of you. It's like, hey, remember you?
Man, and it's crazy because my oldest daughter and I practically grew up together. I was 17 when she was born.
Right.
From 17, like we practically watched each other grow.
Yeah.
So our relationship is a little different.
Sure.
Now I'm having to tread the line of still be dad.
Yep.
But you got a little bit more liberties now. So our conversations are different.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, man. it's definitely interesting.
Nah, that's awesome, man. Especially with a girl, right? I can only imagine. I've got a son, but with a girl, that's a whole nother animal. So I can only
Yeah.
imagine, man. Yeah, yeah. So this is probably going to be a question tied to, and maybe each one of your kids have had an experience specifically in this space. So what
Okay.
what did becoming a father, what did it awaken in you? So you mentioned a little bit about, your oldest and kind of growing up with her, but you had a little bit of practice with the younger ones, right? So, and you can either take it each kid or you can kind of think about it holistically. What did, becoming a father kind of, revive in you, wake up in you? Like what are the things that you felt like, man, I really gotta do X? Like what and even an example that you might have, man, that might speak to it.
So what I'm realizing is to be a father, you have to be very self-aware.
Mm,
And what I'm realizing is I see bits and pieces of myself in all three of them.
yeah. Yeah.
And I can speak to them now because I know where they came from.
Mm,
So like I watch my son quite often. He's very hard on himself.
right.
So anytime he messes up, it's like from 0 to a million.
Wow. Yeah.
And I remember like that being me
Hmm.
because my performance had to live up to the standard of my older sibling. Like obviously, like you know my family tree, but
Yeah.
I'm the youngest. So all through school, I was Andy's little brother, right? I was Reverend Crenshaw's son. Like, these standards that I had to like live up to.
Yeah.
So anytime I failed, I was really hard on myself.
Yeah.
So I see that in my son now,
Mm,
and I have to kind of like catch it.
yeah. Yeah.
But so I see that in him. And then I see a little bit of myself and my daughters when it comes to like people pleasing,
Mm,
wanting everybody to be happy, wanting to make sure everybody's okay. So if anything, it woke up this self-awareness in me. You know, it made me kind of like look inside, introspective, like, all right, this is where they get it from.
yeah.
Um, Attack it now
Mm,
so they're not trying to dive into it at 30.
wow. Wow. Wow.
That's if I catch it at 8 in my son, he's not gonna struggle with it at 17.
Wow, 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 wow. Man, that's powerful, man, because you're literally talking about, the inner workings of, sometimes we don't know how much we bleed into our kids, negatively and positively. So trying to correct that thing in the moment, man. But I love that.
Mhm.
I love the fact that you are aware enough to say, listen, I see this flaw in myself, or I had this flaw in me. I see it coming into my children. How do I correct that now versus the
Yeah.
stubbornness that, some fathers might find themselves in? No, I'm doing it right. They gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love that, man. Awareness, that's that's
Yeah.
that's absolutely powerful. So when it comes to fatherhood, and I think this is probably tied to the question that we just were talking about. What are the things that you had to grow out of? Like, hey, I'm doing this thing and I gotta let this go. Like what are those things, man, that you're like that you had to work on for sure?
Listen, family, if you're enjoying these conversations, take a second to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss future conversations. Now let's get back to the interview.
So growing up, if you had a father, or if you didn't have a father, you said one or two things. When I get grown, when I become a father, I'm not gonna do this to my kid
Right.
for one reason or another.
Yep.
But then when you get kids, you realize you don't know what you don't know. So you pull on the only things you have to pull from,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
And then you realize some of the things that you were raised on don't work on these kids today.
It ain't gonna work. Different time, different space, everything. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. And so I had to grow through that because I was trying to make my now fit older mom.
Wow.
And I had to come to grips and I had to apologize and say, y'all, that don't work. Now, am I completely on the gentle parenting side? No, because that is not how we came up. But I understand that there's a time and a space for conversation.
Yeah.
We were not allowed to ask why.
Yep.
And the reason we weren't allowed to ask why, because our asking exposed their lack of resources.
Man, listen, and sometimes they just didn't know.
They just didn't know.
They just didn't know. Yeah.
I'm okay with telling my kids, yo, I don't know.
I ain't got it. Yeah. I'm the same.
Let's figure this out together. Yeah. Let's figure this out together. Yeah. Well, give me grace and give you grace.
Right.
Right. Now, there are going to be some times that you can't ask me why.
Right.
But we can circle back and say, all right, why did you have me do that?
Yeah.
That's real. I had to learn. I had to grow into that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's good, man. That's really good. That's really good because I'm sitting here thinking about, how I grew up. And, listen, we all same road, same, they all got the same kind of, feel to it. So it may be a little different variation, but it's all effective. So that's real, man. What does leadership look like in the home? Because we talked about fatherhood, right? And I'm a firm believer that, we can't do fatherhood right if we don't have that spouse in there with us, right? So what does leadership look like when it comes to your wife, your kids, and, and how that communication goes back and forth? What does leadership look like in the home for you?
That's a really good question because honestly, my wife and I are now going on 11 years.
Oh, wow. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah. And so with our younger two, it was her starting to parent from the beginning. I was 8 years in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're having to learn how to do this thing together.
Sure.
From two different angles.
Two different vantage points. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes we knock it out the park.
Right.
Other days we got to come back to the table and say, yo, we fumbled that one.
Yeah.
But honestly, it looks like us learning every day.
Okay.
That didn't work yesterday. Let's try this.
Right.
This might work for this one. It might not work for that one.
There you go.
Sometimes I tell her when I know I have to discipline my son,
right?
Go outside. Just go.
You don't want to see that.
Nope. Just go outside because I know if you see it, you're going to be pulled to rescue.
Mama bear.
He don't need rescuing right now. Right. I feel all of this. And then there's some days where she has to rescue him.
Yeah.
Because I'm in full-fledged ego, pride, Brian mode. And he don't need to get that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, some days I want to drop kick my son just for the sake of saying I'm the man.
And that's right? We all got that work that we're dealing with. Yeah, for
real. Yeah.
Yeah, man. No,
it comes with that whole learning, that whole balance and learning.
Yeah.
When not to.
Absolutely. I think you said something that made me think about, we're talking about leadership and we're talking about, the duality of making sure that we're working together when raising the kids, man. But I know that, moms have roles, dads have roles, and then we come together to make that thing work. In the home, what are some non-negotiables from dad? Like obviously, like you said, this day and age, there's some leeway we got to give, some grace and things like that. But what are some non-negotiables where you're like, nope, this household, this is what it is, or this is where we're going, like as a family. Hey, we're going here, type of thing. What are some of those things, man?
Um, Respect,
Yeah.
um, dignity, and
Yeah.
integrity.
Wow.
Three things that I value.
Yeah.
So, my son will be respectful to himself.
Mm.
My son will be respectful to others.
Yeah.
Um, my children will have integrity. And if you say something, your word is your bond. Like,
Mm.
you're not gonna start something, and you're not gonna stop something and quit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
things like that. Just valuable lessons
Right.
that exceed outside of the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and they translate into becoming a decent human being.
Talk about it.
But I didn't understand. My mom raised three boys,
Yeah.
and I never understood what she said to us when she said, "You got to work twice as hard as the next man." And I'm realizing that now, and I'm teaching my son that because he's a minority. You got to work twice as hard,
Yeah.
and he wants to follow in my footsteps. He wants to be a musician. All right, by all means.
Awesome.
I tell him all the time, the musician pool is competitive.
You gotta work. You gotta work.
You got to work hard.
Yeah.
I said, but guess what? It ain't a lot of us that are doing surgeries.
That's real.
It ain't a lot of us that can say we're brain surgeons.
Very true.
I said, I don't want you to fit the mold. I want you to create one.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
My kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, anybody can be a musician.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Right.
But I want you to do something that will put your stamp on the world.
Mm.
I don't want you to have to live in the footsteps of, oh, you're Brian Crenshaw's son.
Wow. Make your own mark in
Oh,
the world. Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
I love both. My dad was a great man, and I'm living in his footsteps today.
Mm.
The Crenshaw name is really heavy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of got it from both ends. As a musician, as a preacher,
Right.
like the whole nine.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere without people saying, "You sound just like your dad."
Mm. Mm.
And while I appreciate it,
Yeah.
it's a great compliment.
Sure.
That's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of pressure to live up to, man, especially when, listen, I know dad and I know how that, that cachet, what came with that. I mean, man, that's actually really good because I did want to know what things have you, pulled from dad that, because we talked about this a little bit earlier, right? Like, the things that we learned, some things we had to let go, some things we had to, we kept. But what I want to know is what things like stick with you to this day that, maybe he hammered into you, or maybe you just saw it as an example. Like what was one of those things, man?
Man, it's so crazy because I was actually talking to my therapist yesterday.
Okay.
And I was talking to her about how his voice now to me
Mm.
has gotten silent. And that's real bad for me
Wow.
because I could always hear my dad in my head.
Wow.
And so I remember her saying to me, don't always pull on his words, pull on his actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can remember my dad always being there.
Yeah.
He gonna show up.
Right.
He might not have all the answers,
Sure.
but if he said something, he gonna show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's what I try to do for my kid.
Show up.
Just show
Just
up.
being there, man.
Even if I don't have the answers,
Right.
I'm going to show up and we're going to figure this thing out.
And you said that, man, because that is the thing that they're going to remember. They're gonna remember you being there, with all the accolades and all the things that we can build.
Yeah.
They're gonna remember you in there. Wow, man, I
Yeah.
absolutely love that, man. So
Yeah.
here's my last question for you, man.
Mhm.
God forbid something happens to you today or tomorrow, and you want, to leave something with your kids, your girls and your son. You want them to know something about dad that's going to help them move through the world. What's that thing you want them to know?
Um, I want my kids to always know that regardless as to what happens in life, I've always wanted the best for them.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Everything that I've done, everything that I've said, every work venture, every idea
right.
was to make them better.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. One thing that they'll never be able to say was, Dad didn't work.
They're going to see the work, right? Regardless, they're going to see the work. Yeah.
Every book I've ever written, every business I've ever started, every idea I've ever had. Man, I stand in front of kids weekly for my kid.
Wow. Wow.
And I want them to be able to say, my dad did that for us.
That's powerful, man. That's absolutely powerful. Listen, y'all. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the man himself, man. The author, the preacher, the businessman. You done heard it from him yourself, y'all. Listen, this is the kind of content that we're trying to get out. And the only way we can get it out is if you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure that people know. And if you got fathers that, got something to say, have them tap in, y'all. So until the next interview, peace.